Right, so that's it. She's all packed up. Simon came to help.
Yep.
And this will be the last time I see Simon and the last time I see Muffin for 3 weeks, and hopefully not an hour longer.
So it's just goodbye for now, I guess, but I mean that's only for now.
Yeah. We're gonna spend these 3 weeks editing videos. You guys are gonna be kept updated always. But yeah, tough decision, but we think it's the right decision to stick to the advice and stay indoors.
But
so yeah.
Just the important thing is, like, with all of this, don't give up on stuff. We're not giving up at all. We're just trying to move in the same direction, just in a different way.
So, quarantine job number 1. Zoe the Zodiac. She spent all winter in my bedroom, in the dry, off the boat, but it's getting towards the time where she needs to be pressed into service, ferrying us to and from the boat again. And since I am at home for 3 weeks, I figured I might as well get this done. Zoe has a flaw. Her floor wobbles a lot. It's not very structural, and it had these really weird wooden battens in it that just snapped every time Simon and I got into her. So I'm gonna try and work out a way of making her a solid plywood keel. Right, cool, so we finished painting. Everything's had like 2 coats of the primer, which is a different company. It's not the Sea Jet underwater primer, it's a Jotun one. It's aluminium paint. Jotun actually make paint for commercial uses, so it's probably better than what we've put on the keel. But it's all been primed, and then tomorrow I'm going to come at it with a fresh paintbrush so that we don't get any grey in the white, and I'm going to give it a couple of coats of the bilge paint that we've put in the bilges of the boat, and I'll put some sand in there as well just to give it a little bit of grip so we're not sliding everywhere in the bottom of the dinghy. And then yeah, we can call that job done. The reason I didn't paint this with epoxy is that it's a plastic, and it's a very brittle plastic, so when these flex, because they're stood on, or we put the keel in, the pool noodle keel in, the epoxy would crack and then all the paint comes off and the wood's untreated. It could crack because it's brittle, whereas an oil-based paint like the one I'm using is really nice and flexible, and it will just heat up a bit in the sun and reform and things. And it's a bilge paint. The reason I've used bilge paint is it's designed to get mucky, oily, dirty, disgusting, and have tins and stuff put on top of it in the bilges of boats. So it's quite a hard wearing, heavy duty paint, which is what we need in the floors of the dinghy. So the anchor chain we need to mark off every 5 metres. When you're anchoring a boat, you need to know how deep the water is, firstly. Secondly, you need to know how much chain you're letting out, because you need to let out roughly 5 times the depth of the water of chain to make sure that you're not going to drift anywhere. So we mark the anchor chain out in meters of 5. We're going to do that with yellow spray paint. And yeah, let's crack with it. So what I'm doing now is building a little cabinet. So I bought these coffee holders, and I'm just going to make a little shelf to go underneath the compass by the companionway. I'm going to use some of this tongue and groove that I bought, because we're no longer going to be using these storage boxes from B&Q to make code storage. Okay, so just whilst this batten's gluing on the bottom of here, whilst I wait for the glue to go off, I've sprung a curve onto the top of this sideboard for the shelf, so that we've got a nice gentle curve coming down. Just makes the whole lot a bit nicer to look at and a bit less boxy and IKEA-ish. So those are both done. I'm gonna start putting the battens on the inside of them now, but I've just sandwiched them both together and planed them and then sanded them, and hopefully what you just saw at the end of that clip there was my next door neighbour accidentally kicking the legs out from under the camera tripod, and the camera fell down onto the gravel here and landed on its lens. So that broke the little shutter mechanism that closes and covers the lens when the camera switches off, which isn't ideal because it could damage the lens. Where's me screw bucket gone? So that is poor man's mahogany. It's just a bit of free softwood I got that I put 3 coats of stain on, and now it looks quite good. Okay, so we have both of our shelves there with their supports on the bottom, and I've stained the supports, so the stain's just going off on them. So cooker. So our cooker has always lived in this box for the last few years when we've been borrowing Muffin, because it's mine and I wanted to bring it home. It's just a little camping gas cooker with the gas connector here, and we literally just bring the gas bottle down from the cockpit and hook it up. The problem with this is that if we're trying to cook whilst we're moving, the pots and pans are all spilling their contents. So what we're doing is we're going to try and gimbal the cooker. So what you can see here is this part swings, and if we can attach the cooker to that, when the boat heels over, the arm will swing and hopefully the cooker and its contents should stay upright. So I'm going to be attaching the arm here to the side of the box, because it's very convenient for us to keep the cooker in its box, so that's what we're going to keep doing. The problem is these are quite old. I was very kindly given them by my next door neighbour, and they have got imperial fittings on, so this is measured in inches and it's not an M12 or anything like that. So I'm hoping if I take this up to the shed I might be able to get these bolts out and replace them with a metric bolt, I think M12, but I'm not entirely sure. We're going to have to work that out. So yeah, let's crack on with that. So here we are inside the shed of many things, inside my dad's shed, and we've just got the part clamped in. So when I got these off my neighbour, he said the way they were made is that the stainless steel bit was screwed into the aluminium, and then they did these 3 little dings here to spread it out a bit so that it would lock in place. Now I've just got this really tightly clamped in the vise, and it is kind of working. So if I just pop the camera down, we'll see if we can find a camera angle where we can get this working. Yeah, there we go, finally. So this is a different thread depth. This was the end that was in the aluminium, and that's different end. And this is a completely different cut of thread. So it's looking more hopeful now that I'll be able to re-tap that to M12, because this almost, that end that was in there, almost fits in an M12. So I think I'm going to re-tap that using the tap that we used for the keel, and then put some of the old keel bolts through it. So yeah.
Got a nice gimbaling cooker going. Gimbal, gimbal, gimbal.